And a pleasant good morning to you from Tony's Picks. This is Ramon Scott with the morning's team for Friday, December 1st, 2023. Happy December. Get rolling on the final month of the year. Bowl season, conference championship season. We'll talk about tonight's game in the Pac 12, Washington, Oregon. How will things play out with the teams from the Pac 12? The last Pac 12 game, I guess. I don't know. Hey, who knows? Maybe there'll be a new Pac 12. Maybe this isn't the end for the Pac 12 uh, heading into the future. We'll see what happens tonight. Washington, Oregon. Will there be an upset? Will there be, uh, uh, spoiler, whatever? So we'll see tonight. Looking forward to that one. Also, Conference USA. Hey, you know what? This one, Liberty, if they were to win this game in a future tournament, well, probably going to the playoff. They come in undefeated. Hi, everybody. Welcome into the chat. We'll just have a short show today for you with a limited card. What can you say? We got NBA. We got 6 or 7 games, right? 6 games in the NBA, two in hockey, and I'll preview a few in college basketball as well. How did it go for you guys on Thursday night football with the Cowboys and the Seahawks? Pretty good game. Seahawks came through with a nice effort to get that money in a big time over. The points were coming fast and furious last night. What was the storyline with the game? Cowboys. Well, I don't think we're going to mark them down just because they didn't cover. They looked pretty clutch for the most part. We Seahawks probably got a bad rap for their last loss. They obviously still have some pretty good talent. How about their young wide receiver? This guy looks like he's going to be a big time star uh, with Njigba. He looked pretty good. DK had a pretty good game too. We're not going to, you know, talk about uh, the other wide receiver when DK had a huge game, but it was the Cowboys in the end. How about Bland? He had another interception. He made up for what was looking like, you know, Bland was more of a gambler out there with all those interceptions early in the season because he was getting beat pretty bad. But Dallas wins 41-35. They move to 9-3. It's their 14th win in a row at home. This one in come from behind fashion. Dak 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. CD Lamb, uh, despite having one of the best rookies on him, part of the game at least, in Witherspoon, Lamb, 12 catches, 116 yards. Gino, 334 yards, 3 TDs, and a sore arm, probably from all those passes. And DK Metcalf, 6 receptions, 134 yards, 3 touchdowns for Seattle. We get ready for an NFL weekend as well, but it's all about conference tournaments starting tonight and tomorrow. Of course, tonight we'll talk about the game Ducks and Huskies. It's the Ducks, remember, with the loss. And other news, maybe a little bit of there was some college football. DJ Uangalele is going to transfer from Oregon State, where he'll end up. Well, it's not going to be Nebraska. We know that. Matt Rule says, "Hey, it's hard to compete a little bit. Top quarterbacks are asking for $1 million to transfer. Well, welcome to college football. You want a good quarterback, you're going to have to pay up. Uh, Parents, so start them early, make them a quarterback. Uh, I know there's other positions out there, but the glamour position, man, these guys are already bringing in the money. For UCLA freshman quarterback Dante Moore, he's going to go in the transfer portal. UCLA put all that time into him a little bit. What do they get out of it? He's going to head off to somewhere else. So uh, we'll see how that shakes out moving forward. But I don't think we can put the genie back in the bottle when it comes to NIL money. So, all right. Uh, Anything else we could talk about with yesterday's NBA, yesterday, NHL as well? Big card in the NHL. We had a premium winner, Edmonton, Winnipeg, under. And we also had premium winners in the NBA. Swept the card with our premium NBA picks. I had Portland and Cleveland under as a premium play. I had Milwaukee, Chicago over as a premium play. I needed overtime there, but hey, how many times we get on the other side of those, right? And Utah and Minnesota premium pick under yesterday. Also, some winners on the show could have been better in the NBA, but we did have the Pistons as an underdog yesterday. We also had the Oklahoma City Thunder. The late game, we had the over Clippers and Warriors, but the Warriors ended up getting the money. If I would have known, and I'm going to call you guys out, all right? It's your fault, chat, that I didn't get the win. How could we miss? Now, I see some of you may have been on the Warriors. I'm teasing you, but how can you not play the Warriors? I didn't know that November 30th, 2023 was going to be a thing for the Warriors last night. And Brent took him, but why did he take him because of that? Do you guys know what that even is? Uh, November 30th. So if you watch the game, or if you're a Warriors fan, or maybe I just didn't catch it, it was a little tidbit. I don't think it was a real. I mean, it was real. It was real neat, actually. But so the Warriors celebrated last night, November 30th, 2023. Why is that so significant? Well, you have the 11th month, which is Clay Thompson's number. You had the 30th day, which is Seth Curry's number, and you had 2023, which is Draymond Green's number. So the date was the numbers of the three stars that have been there in Warrior Land for all the championships. And they actually went out of their way to ask the league for a home game, and they celebrated these three guys and honored them. And it was pretty cool, I guess. And then they had a nice interview after the game. Even Draymond was cool. So say hello to some folks. But if I'd have known that, we would have went on the Warriors, okay? Why were we on the Clippers? Clippers played good. Good game last night, actually, between the Clippers and the Warriors. The Thunder stomped down the Lakers. Yeah, we had that one. And like I said, I thought the Lakers, yeah, the Stars played, but, it's not. I'm not saying ever to take a day off. I mean, if the Stars want to play, but I mean, that was probably a spot. I mean, the Stars cost them. The Stars looked tired. So I think maybe sometimes they don't know what's best for their own guy. LeBron probably has a goal to play as many games as possible and put the, you know, critics. Because here's what happens on those games, right? I don't think those. Well, we know there are some players. I mean, Kawhi obviously paces himself or whatever, but uh, I don't think all players want to miss some time. And some of their attitudes are, if I'm healthy, I'm going to play. So, all right. Now, yesterday also college basketball card, and we've had another good day of winners on the show. So that was pretty cool, right? We had Liberty, Florida Atlantic under on the show. Pardon me, as a winner. We also gave out uh, Butler, and that we needed overtime, right? That was that big high scoring overtime game. We needed the overtime there. We also had the winner for on the show, Creighton, Oklahoma State over as a show winner. So good show yesterday with our show picks. We came through on the picks on the show. So we'll try to do it again today with some more college basketball. All right, your comments are coming in. Here they are. say hi to you guys. I must be at the end of the. I only got the sniffles left, so or is that the beginning? I don't. All right, here's Blake was here today to get us started, and Ray Chad is here. Put me to shame. Here's Ferner. Good morning. Fernando, ready to go. How are we looking in football today? It's Friday, so I imagine we'll have uh, more action from the major domestics. Typical Friday night schedule. Today here, tonight over there. Cologne is in action against Darmstadt. I'm seeing them in the top flight here. And in Italy, Monza, right? We got the new, the new entries. We got Juventus in that one, and in France, Reims and Strasbourg in action. Getafe and Las Palmas action today in soccer. Getting ready for the weekend. All right. Thanks, Blake. What do we got? The set in stone play of the day. Hey, anything's, pretty good. Like I said, I still like that one that somebody kind of has. They don't use it that much, but I just feel like it's theirs, but I feel like it pertains to me. But why are we set in stone? I mean, is it because I'm old? I'm old like stone. Rodney had the dog. Why didn't I have the dog? I gave out the Cowboys. And yeah, I did go under on the show. It's right. Here's the funny thing about it, and maybe we just had it wrong, of course. But I've been playing a lot of the under with even on the Thursday game. We've been in and out a little bit. We've been kind of right on, like I said, Monday night, Sunday night. It's all about the under, and we played that as a premium quite often. But you're not just going to blindly do it. You want to think you have the best shot of doing it. And we've had the Thursday games right for the most part when we have gone with the total, whether over or under. And you know it on the show if you follow. I do because of the record keeping. But yesterday I'm like, well, I'm going to actually give out the total on the show. I haven't done that in a while on Thursday night. Usually been going with the total, my specialty. And well, got it wrong. Maybe if I would have analyzed it a little better, we would have been on the right ones and maybe give it out on the show. Hey, go over. Look at these guys. I explained it yesterday. Hey, I explained it perfectly, right? That the Thursday games did have a tendency to, even though they were just 6-6, why they were going over. Now, I don't know if that pertained necessarily yesterday, because, but like I said, one thing about the Thursday, the reason it didn't pertain to yesterday was because those two teams had a full week off. They played on Thanksgiving. It didn't matter. They still went over. Gerardo, hello. And that's Darren's here today. Fernando, hello. Nicholas, hello. Leroy 407. Nice to have you. And real good to have you. Have you stopped by before? I'm not sure, and just want to shout you out for making a comment. And Leroy, maybe he is from Florida. Maybe he is, I would think. If he's Leroy 407, we'll see. And Fernando talking about the winners on the ice. Fun day on the ice. Okay, we're going to go over to tonyspicks.com and do the commercial. So, bear with me, or if you like to join me and see who's hot over at tonyspicks.com. I know I like to. And I guess my 1 day run at the top is over. Hey, Perky made it in. He didn't like what the Bucks were up to last night. What about that game? What was I going to say? No, that was the big. Yeah, we needed the overtime there in that one. William Dryman here. Okay, I didn't know that, Blake. I didn't know you were 50 something. Oh, all right. Go here. I'm ready. Oh, look at Brent rolling with his college already, it looks like. All right. I'm glad it's a short show and we'll get to a great weekend. Here's Daniel Chuck on top of the handicapper leaderboard for yesterday. He went 5-1 for plus 395 units. Ben Ruhala, 7-3, 70%. Plus 350. How about Tony T with a perfect 3-0 on the day? Chauncey, looks like it was easy pickings here, and I'm uh, sub 500 yesterday by one game, I think, but nonetheless, Chauncey Giles in there, 71% for plus 265. Nick Lagaretos, 8-5 for plus 236. Mr. McNasty on the leaderboards again. Just joined us here within the last week or so. Nasty Sports, 3-1 record. And Tiffany Mance up there. Good day for Tiffany at 62.5%. Tim Irwin won his only play. Sean Dinwiddie won his only play. Marlon Pettis hit his only play on Thursday night. Well, I'm still on top of the handicapper leaderboards, and yesterday, if I had a subpar day, obviously still having a pretty good week because we're up there at plus 961 for the week over the last 7 days. Ron Crawford is right there as well, pretty much the same record, plus 848. Daniel Wolosichuk, a good record here, 13-6. Ralph Raymond still hitting 60%, and Marlon Pettis is hitting 67% over the last 7 days. Last 30 days, it's Daniel Wolosichuk. He's been up there for almost seems like 30 days with his plus nearly 1,900 units. Sean Dinwiddie, the king of totals, he's up over 7 units. Marlon Pettis up 4 3/4 units. Joseph Schultz is up 3 1/4 units. Tony T's up 2.5 units on the site over the last 30 days. All right. So what you do is you click on the Premium Picks tab. There you'll find the handicapper leaderboards, then 3 packs, 5 packs, and 7 packs from our team of handicappers today. Include those from Daniel Wolosichuk, who's got a 5 pack, including the 2 college football championship games and 3 college basketball games. Tony T's got his 3 pack formula for Profit Friday. $15 picks also, and best bets from the crew are coming over at tonyspicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages. You can click on the All Cappers tab. There you'll find the list of handicappers. You can click on their handicapper profile page, and there you'll find how to get signed up to the 3-day package, for example, right here will get you through the weekend. Pick this one up with me after 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific, and you'll be riding with 4 days of action for just $79. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to pick up this package. I already showed you. I'm up over almost 10 units over the last 7 days, so why wouldn't I be able to bring home for a serious better, a nice weekend here over the next 4 days? I would imagine that's probably going to be good enough for about 30 plays. Like I said, if you get it after noon Pacific and 3 Eastern, you'll get Friday. Then you'll get Saturday, then you'll get Sunday, and because I get all my plays in, except for the late steam, of course, but you'll have my main releases for Monday as well. So you get 4 days. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. I'm already up there for the 2 games tonight, for example. Take a look at the handicapper profile page on there. You see all my records, but also if you scroll down, you'll see what the handicapper's on. And I've got both college football games ready to go for tonight. And you can always check my previous records. There you see the winners I had from last night in the NBA and hockey, and then a pretty good little roll that we were on here over the last few days. You see the winners there. Plenty of winners. So check me out. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. All right, a few more comments. We'll start the show. Like I said, we're going to be out of here real quick with today. With today's card and Gerardo talking about. Let me just tell you, thank you for Gerardo. You come through big time, keeping me on track a little bit here. So, Gerardo on some UFC action. I will mention right now that on YouTube, if you type in a few keywords, maybe my name, uh, and maybe the words UFC and picks. You'll be able to find on YouTube my podcast with my analyst. Each week, I go over the card with a top MMA analyst. I'm the host, and he always brings on another top analyst. They break down the fights. So please check that out if you can on YouTube. All right, and they'll be in Austin, Texas this week. A crowd, an audience, so that's a good thing.
System play.
All right. I hope I got your comment. I hope I didn't miss anything or have all the responses. Let's get started with the show here today. With our college football preview, we'll start with the early game. How the old man doing here? Okay, here we go. Oh, I said we're going to start with the early game. Here we go. Conference USA with undefeated Liberty. How about the Flames, huh? And they come in with a 12-0 record, 8-0 in Conference USA. They won the earlier meeting this season against New Mexico State, and they roll in here as a double-digit favorite against the Aggies at home in the Conference Championship game, mind you. Now, that's just the way it works out in this one. But New Mexico State, there's not a hotter spread team, I don't think, in the country, is there, than New Mexico State? Maybe there is. I'm trying to think. I mean, they definitely finished right there among the best in the country this year. They lost to Liberty. What happened? They went on a roll after that and were beating everybody. New Mexico State finished 11-10 against 11-2 against the point spread this season. So just a great season for New Mexico State and our man Jerry Kill. That's who feels like you want to trust. This guy covers numbers. They beat Auburn a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely terrific. But look, Brent says, yeah, but what happened in that last game, right? But man, I don't know. It wasn't a good start to the season, though. Actually, right, for Liberty, they kind of got off to a slow start. They were 2-3 at one point, and then that's when they got on a roll. Now, the final of the first game was 33-17. Liberty won and covered at home right here, so they won by 16 points as a 9.5-point favorite. Now they're an 11.5-point favorite. Maybe it doesn't make sense to me because it feels like New Mexico State has made some big strides. To start covering spreads. They must have had a slow start, right? I mean, yeah, maybe the games were a little bit, but again, beating Auburn 2 weeks ago on the road, 31-10. in a stunner that we were on New Mexico State. We love New Mexico State there. So uh, Aggies 12-6 against the spread. Their last 18 games as a road underdog. And Coach Kill, the former Gophers coach, he's 23-17 against the spread as a road underdog. Note here that the Aggies have gone under in 9 of their last 11 games. Doesn't feel like this one is headed under. That's the part for me that's tough because New Mexico State has been, you know, kind of a constant under, but this seems like it's going to be like a fun time. Now they only played to 50 points last time. Uh, in that game back in September, the Flames had 526 yards of total offense in that one. Liberty has won 4 of the last 6 games. Also, should mention last year they played as well, and the game was here in Liberty, at Liberty, and Liberty won 49-14. So, Conference USA though has been uh, favoring the Dogs in their last 5 conference championship games. The underdog has covered 4 of the last 5. So it looks like you guys a little bit split here. Ferner's leaning Liberty, but Darren seems to be interested in New Mexico State here. Liberty, in the past, they've been kind of a pass team. They've had good offenses, but they've been running the ball. Now, they ran for 324 yards over their last 7 games, and 5 of their last 6 games have gone over. I'm going to go over. I think the value's a little bit gone here. The total was 53.5. It's all the way up to 57 now, and I think we'll have an over in this game. And Brent's going to take Liberty. We'll find out which team he's going to go with probably when we preview the next game to close out that teaser. So give me the over tonight. It's already 57. Maybe I'll tease it. That'll get me a better total, but I do like it over here tonight. Even with a championship game, I want to play this one over, and maybe you got a feel for what I'm doing on the side, but that's my premium play here in this one. But where we've been making some money here if you don't want to. All right. Got to think that I don't know. I like I'll take the over. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, let's get into the good one now. It's right here in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, home of the Pac-12 Championship, and where we go after this. Moving forward, we'll see. I mean, it hurts to a certain extent. I mean, the Pac-12. I'm old enough. The Pac-10, the Pac used to be the Pac-8, but the teams are moving on. To other conferences and whatnot. But all right, let's start to get into this one. Where are we at here? Here we go. Oregon, the favorite here over Washington. Well, these 2 teams played also right in the regular season, and who won that one? Well, we know which team won that one. The team that comes in undefeated in this game, the Washington Huskies. Now they're a 10-point underdog. They were 3-point favorites in that game against Oregon. I mean, I think everybody talks about the fact that, the Huskies won the game. Of course, we know that. But it wasn't an upset necessarily. Like I said, it was a 3-point spread. They won by 3 points. And they had a pretty good night, right? A pretty good day in that game. So Washington, it was 36-33 in that game. So the Huskies have won 4 out of the last 7. It's been a very close series, and they've won the last 2 meetings by 3 points this year and 3 points last year. The Pac 12, we talk about the Pac 12, right, as being the conference of cannibalism. Maybe one thing that has hurt them. Look, I've said that this dissolution of the Pac 12 will help the schools eventually get more money, maybe get a better sniff of the national championship. Remember, if Oregon wins this game, we really got to see what happens with those other championship teams. Now, Oregon feels pretty good, like they are pretty spectacular team. The committee seems to like them as well. And can they be the other team to get in there? You know, the big joke going around, can we actually shut out the SEC? You're not going to shut out the SEC. So who will the 14? Look, if it's 4 undefeated teams, easy. Washington wins this game, and the other 3, the 4 teams. But if Oregon wins, and they are favored to win by 10 points, that's a pretty significant. Then Washington gets the loss, and then we'll have to see what happens with the old committee, moving forward. So Washington, 3-5-1 against the spread in the Pac-12. And the reason I mentioned the old cannibalism thing, I don't know, it's kind of a gross term, I guess, but one thing that I think has always hurt the Pac 12 in years past has been, the conference is pretty good. Pretty good, maybe even underrated to a certain extent. They never get there, and so it makes it like, yeah, they never can win the championship or whatever. But the conference is pretty deep, and usually the losses along the way in conference, right? Look, the SEC is incredible, but you still play some lower rung teams that sometimes don't have some great seasons, right? Teams that don't play as much football, maybe, or whatever. And the conference is changing. We know things are changing now over these years. But uh, here's the reason I mention it: Pac-12 favorites this season are 22-30 against the spread. So underdogs coming through in the Pac-12 title game. Now, Penix maybe hasn't looked as good. I don't think anybody's like running away from Penix, right? They're not ready to, whether or not you think he's going to be a professional quarterback or not, doesn't matter, right? I mean, I think the thought is he looks like a guy who's going to be, highly sought after in for the NFL. So, Huskies 3-0 as an underdog with this coach. Um, so, should note that for Oregon, they've scored at least 31 points in every game so far this season, and they're a 10-point favorite. So, that would guarantee right there, I would think, at least 52 points here. We're talking about a total of 65, but there better be some defense tonight. I'm going to go under in this game, thinking that somebody better play some. If you want to win a championship, you better play some defense. The Sharps are all over the under here, whether or not they're going to be right or not. That's the way I feel. Who do you think the Sharps are on? The total has only gone down. It was as high as 68.5, I believe, is the high point. So, all right, and maybe you got some comments here in this one. Werner, he's taking the Ducks. Chad's taking the Ducks. Oregon's taking the Ducks. Everybody's on the Ducks here in this one. I think everybody loves Knicks, right? We talked about Penix. We probably should talk about Knicks, but everyone knows, how strong he's been. So,
final.
Okay, Brent says he's teasing Oregon, but he may come in. He doesn't look like he's sure. So, and I only tease it as the last Pac-12 game. Of course, there is a chance that that rebranded conference could be the Pac-12. I got into a little bit of a discussion with a top YouTube analyst. Said, no, that um, he didn't necessarily uh, see it that way, that the Mountain West had the television contracts. But it's not to say that they couldn't keep those contracts and just adopt a new name and call it the Pac-12. Again, there'll be the two teams that are left over, and there was another ruling this week that came out about Oregon State and Washington State moving forward. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't read too much into it, but they still retain kind of like control. Those two teams and the regents, whoever of those schools, kind of retain uh, control of the Pac-12. So maybe those two teams join all those Mountain West teams and they become the Pac-12. We'll see. Okay. Anyways, so the game tonight, Oregon's in the Pac-12 title game for the fourth time in the last 5 years. They've won two of their previous three times here. So Oregon, 7 unders, 4 overs this season in their Division One games. I don't know. I don't recall what the other total was. So, all right. Well, enjoy this one tonight. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to take the under. So the thing there'll be plenty. I mean, with these two quarterbacks, you'd think it would be pretty awesome, but just gotta hope and think that there is some quality of defense here. Otherwise, could be a long night in the uh, BCS semifinals for the winner of this game. Washington, it's winning you're in. Oregon probably feels the same way. Uh, for Oregon, uh, obviously a win close to the spread would be a little bit better than if Oregon were to achieve a victory, a last second victory, a close victory. That doesn't necessarily improve their chances any, but I guess also depending on the nature, if it's a spectacular finish for Knicks or something, that could also help. And again, nothing is certain, with those other teams. Yes, is Michigan, favored to win? Yeah, but it's still Michigan, Ohio State, right? I figure anything could happen. Neutral site game type of things, anything, things get crazy. Steam playing. And don't forget in the other championship games as well. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Thanks a lot, you guys, for that. Should be a fun night uh, of college football. All right, let's get into our NBA. We've got 6 games to look at here and get your pens, pencils, and scorecards ready. And again, I think we'll be out of here by the bottom of the hour, it feels like to me. And that'll be great. Get into the card here with the Wizards and the Magic. Hey, we talked about these Wizards the other night. They're not great, but they do seem to cover a few spreads here and there. We always like those teams. The ones with the biggest discrepancy between the number of straight up losses and the number of spread wins. Those are the teams you want to kind of hitch your ride with a little bit. All right, here we go with the Magic. I just want to give me one moment here. Thank you. To call up my notes in this game and the latest line too. All right, we are talking about 11-point favorite, and the total here is not 337. Oh my God! I mean, I know these games are crazy. I just looked down there. 200, still 238, 237 and a half, 238, whatever. But I don't know. These games could go 338 here. CTG. Hey, buddy. How you doing, my friend? That got you to comment. I did it just to hear from you. Thanks, brother. And yeah, we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll on that one. Anyways, here with these two teams, Washington coming in with a poor record, 3 wins, 15 losses. Been a bad year, but I don't know. They got some numbers. Certainly, that's what I like. Uh, well, Washington 7-4 against the spread on the road. How about that? But Orlando, they're the money makers, baby. There are money makers. 15-3 against the spread, 9-1 against the spread at home. But what are you going to do with them here? I mean, laying 11 points against Washington. Now, the thing about Orlando and their 9-1, yeah, they've turned into a little bit of a favorite here in some of these games, but not double-digit favorite necessarily. Brent says, I still got to do it. No, I can't do it. I mean, I think the Wizards, to me, feel like the right play here right now. It's going to be a pretty high scoring. You see the total there, 238. I can only imagine that, you know, I'm going to take Washington on the show here. I don't want to give away too much info. I mean, I'm starting to click, I think, in the NBA, rolling it here yesterday, a couple wins before that. And uh, what my history said, once it starts to get into the totals land, and I that's when I start using. But I'll just talk about it in that sense because Washington's gone over. These two teams have gone over in 5 of the last 7 meetings. So far this season, Washington has been an over team. They are 7-4 to the over on the road so far.
Final.
So Orlando, they've won and covered 5 straight games at home right now. They're really in a good group, and they've been covering double digits. Remember, these teams just played the other night. What was it, 2 or 3 nights ago? 2 nights ago, and we had a 20-point victory. But I think that the Wizards will cut that down here tonight. I think that helps you measure a team. But look at the total. That night was 238. They played to 259 points. And Darren wins the comment of the day. Revancha. The Wash hey, the Washington Revancha. Uh, oh. Yeah, Fernando. This one actually seems a little easy, right? I'm taking the tough one here. Um, I'm taking the tough play here with the Wizards. I feel like the total is actually going to be kind of easy, and I do want you to get my premiums. Please join me. I'm going to have plays all weekend, especially in college basketball. So, anyways, give me the Wizards here. Again, I think it will help them measure it a little bit. Um, in this one. Before that, the Wizards did beat up on the Pistons. I mean, that's not saying much, and the Magic are better than the Pistons, we know, but remember they had that big showdown game. And I think you guys were against me in that one, and I was on the Wizards, and I know that the chat, I'll go ahead and say it, a lot of you were liking the Pistons in that one with that short spread. So and the Wizards have been, pretty bad, but they covered a big spread against Milwaukee. Here's a funny thing, right? And yeah, maybe Orlando is good. Milwaukee. So the Wizards were getting 13 and a half from Milwaukee about a week ago on the road. Here they are getting 11 from the Magic. No, that's 2.5 points. So that is a big difference. But the Magic
Final.
come all that way. The Bucks, we might have thought they were slipping a little bit, and all of a sudden they're starting to really heat up and cover number. Even whatever happened last night, I'm not gonna. Yeah, the Bulls won, but all right. Darren likes the over. Daryl likes the over here in this one. All right, and Mike says, don't forget the Bulls won that game outright last night. Yeah, in overtime, hitting that late 3-pointer. Um, I was rooting for them to make the 3-point. I was rooting for them to make the bucket. Brent says it will be the same thing. I don't think. I think it goes. Like I said, play another team now. You got to give the Magic though a lot of credit. to where they stand right now. There was some news about Bancaro. Let me get that to you because it was significant. And hey, Mike, you would have. So Bancaro is probable, actually. Jonathan Isaac questionable, and Markel Fultz is out. So, Mike, you would have liked that last night, right? With the way you love numbers, but you would have loved the Warrior game last night, right? With the 11, 30, 23, with Clay 11, Curry 30, and Draymond 23, and they played on November 23rd, 2023. They gave out a little uh, gave out a thing to all the fans and everything. All right, I'm taking the Wizards here. Here's the game of the night with the Celtics and the the Sixers, and we'll have to see. Joel Embiid is definitely questionable for this game with an illness. So, yeah, it's that time of the year. Sometimes people get a cold or something, and they might miss a day or two. We know that there's a little bit of bug running through the team. There is another player on the illness list for the uh, Sixers in this one. Porzingis is out with a calf injury. Batum is upgraded to probable. And House is out for the Sixers, but a lot is going to rely on the status of Joel Embiid, and this line will change once we find out his status because it is a pretty significant questionable tag. If he's not playing, I do expect Boston to go up a couple of points, and if he's in there, it'll probably go down a couple of points once we find out. So you can take the chance right now and what you think that's part of handicapping unless you're a big bomber that wants to play a big limit play here. They're going to probably limit you to a couple grand on this one without knowing the status of the star of the Sixers. But how are you guys looking at this one? uh, Philadelphia has
Steam play.
won 5 of their last 7 games on the road, but Boston has won 5 straight at home. They've also covered 6 of their last 7 at home. Philadelphia has gone over in 4 of their last 5 games. Boston is 6-2 against the spread at home. And the Sixers have been going over of late. Mentioned that over in 4 of the last 5 games, but Boston has been putting up some unders here of late. Here comes some of your plays in. And Rodney says, let's see here. Let me interpret this. If you want Philly +6, like me, take it now. So to me, it sounds like Rodney thinks that Embiid will make it to the starting lineup. I think this is an endorsement for the Celtics. Okay. Yeah. Uh, so, right. I mean, if anything, maybe the reports are that Embiid is, um, going to be ready here uh, for the game. For the game if he was out in that one. I thought Batum also maybe with a game time decision here in this one. Embiid situation. Let's see. Remember that was when we were complaining about the last game, right? Because it was a late scratch. But again, with an illness, I don't know what we can do. Yeah, right. And that's what it is still to Rodney today. He's, you know, obviously got the flu. We call it the flu nowadays. You get the flu. You wear a mask. Before the pandemic, sometimes if you had, I don't know, judging from some cultures, if you've seen it, we always looked at people kind of peculiar back in the day when they wore masks. Even today, it's still kind of common in a way. No one's going out anymore, in the but if you're not feeling good or something like that, or if you're compromised, or you're wearing a mat, right? But we all should maybe consider it if we're down under the weather. All right, Darren says take Philly plus 10 if the line moves. I think if he's out, um, I don't know if it'll move to 10. I thought I was thinking maybe 8.5, maybe, but could it go to 10? We'll see. Fernando likes the over here in this one. The reported steam did come in on the under here. I'm going to take the points now. If Rodney says take it now, I'm going to take it now. Hi, Peasy. Is that this game? Is this one a kind of a coin flippy for you? And Solo likes the under here. Usually, I'm kind of ready to go with the totals. In this, kind of ready to go with the totals, or at least I know my opinion of the total and whether or not I'm going to use it as a premium. And here, I'm not quite sure yet. Give me Philadelphia as my play here plus 6. And yeah, if I'm still looking at the spot, um, here Furnace says he's not going to play without knowing about Embiid. So, and again, you can kind of get a feel too. You can wait a little bit. Sometimes you can get out and still make the play before it happens. Just keep up on the beat writers. All right, here comes the Grizzlies and the Mavericks. And we got another double-digit favorite here for the Mavericks. And hey, the big story with the Mavericks this week has been the sale of the team to the family of the late Sheldon Adelson, the Las Vegas casino hotel mogul. They'll buy the team, and Mark Cuban will still run the team. He'll retain some ownership, but the majority ownership will go to the Adelson family. And they're not moving to Las Vegas. Well, Las Vegas, this is one where they'll do an expansion franchise here in Las Vegas. You're not going to move the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban is never going to me, leave that town. This is about the Adelson's family experience in hotels, casino, Texas, maybe on a fast track to getting some sports betting legalized. Good luck to them. I'm sure they can get it done. Again, I'm a native Californian for the first 54 years of my life, and when they just tried to pass sports betting last year in California, it was received with the worst showing at the polls for uh, any vote taken on any subject in state history. Sports betting got 16 and 18%. There were two bills, and the public voted for sports betting basically 17%. And it was shot down. 83% said, we don't want sports betting in California, or at least not in the form that they were going to give it to them. And one of those forms was online betting. So California, they don't like sports betting, and I'm out of there. Not necessarily because of that, but man, what an embarrassment. So Texas will be on the fast track. They'll probably do a great job down there because they know what they're doing, not like goofball state California. All right, Grizzlies and the Mavs here in this one. Editorial time as usual for Ramon. Anyways, Dallas and Memphis here. 5 of the last 6 meetings here between these two teams in Dallas have gone under, and this has been a real good series for the Mavericks. They've covered 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams. Now, they are laying double digits. Memphis has been certainly struggling here of late. So it does kind of you know, suck right now for the Grizzlies. I don't know much other way to put it, but 10 points still seems like it's going to be a lot. And are the Mavericks really a team that is going to come out and be a team that could get a double digit victory? They don't feel like a team that's necessarily able to get to get a double digit win, but they are, a little bit better covering spreads of late. They are 3-4 against the spread as an underdog. Memphis is 3-5 against the spread. I'm sorry, Dallas is 3-4 against the spread at home, I should say, so far this season, but laying a pretty big number here. Uh, uh, in this one. So let's see if you have any comments or plays here. Oh boy, you guys got a lot of comments. And
Steam play.
Daryl's worried. Don't worry, Daryl. You know what? We've done pretty good. One thing we've done now, it could be crazy, but we got some vaccines. Things are kind of under control a little bit, but I appreciate you. Anything could happen. And BZ's got a comedy routine going in the chat. Hey, Rodney might take Memphis. Who knows with these guys right now? Fernando going under. I don't know, Fernando. I think we're on opposite. Fernando and we agree a lot. Probably not in this game. I almost want to save it for the I might just save it for premium land. I like the over here a lot. I'm afraid. I think Dallas. Maybe they do get away from him in the end. Brent's got his plays. And do I? Let me. Let me make sure I got the right line up there, Fernando. Appreciate that. You don't have to go under 228, brother. I'm going to give you a couple more points because the line is higher, and that's because the steam has moved it higher. And I don't think the steam is wrong today in this one. It feels like, but the spread has gone down maybe to 9.5. Maybe just maybe giving the Grizzlies a chance here in this one. So does feel like pretty big number. Like maybe that I'm saving the total, and I think it's just going to be too close to call actually on this spread. So just going to have to maybe I will be flipping a coin here. I want to give you the best. Chad says, I want to know about uh, Lively in this game. I think he thinks it's a big factor here, but I'm not showing him on the injury. Yeah, Brent says he's back. Okay. All right. All right, you guys, I'll just have to make the call here and go with it. And I think Memphis probably can hang in there. I'll take the points. To me, if I'm going to sit there and try to contemplate a game that, kind of falls right where I'm, thinking about it, that to me at least has to represent a little bit of a dead spot. Dallas, knows they can go out there with a strong effort and win this game. But you know, the concerns I have about Dallas, and you talk about the total there necessarily. And again, I'm not, like I said, uh, Memphis has gone under in 5 straight. This series has been going under as well. So I could see, what you're doing there. But also for me, Dallas's defense they're not going anywhere. We know that. To me, even with this 11, even with this pretty good record. Um, I don't think they're playing pretty good. I got questions with Lively defensively, certainly, and I'm impressed. But um, again, he's got a lot of growth to do. I would think, and that those guys in the front court not very good. Kyrie doesn't even try on defense, so maybe Memphis hangs in there. Don't get me wrong, Lucas will go off. Luke will go off and have a huge game, and Kyrie as well. And all right, give me the Grizzlies.
System
I'm
play.
going over. But give me the Grizzlies here as the play. All right. Knicks and Raptors here in this one. Action here for Friday night. And the Raptors at home, a slight favorite here, 217.5 or so. Interesting with the Raptors here, favored at home against the Knicks. Oh, I don't know if it's a surprise necessarily, given the uh, status of these two teams right now in the standings. You got the Raptors 9 and 10 right now, and the Knicks coming in with the 11-7 record. But obviously, with the Knicks having played yesterday in that game against the Pistons, and now having to travel north of the border for the back-to-back, that's always a little bit of a concern. You know, a little bit of extra effort here coming into this one. So, but I kind of like the way the Knicks are playing right now, and probably going to end up on them here plus the 2 points, and maybe just take them on the money line. New York has won 6 of their last 8 games right now, and this has always been a tough spot. This is the only thing that probably is going to keep it off being a premium for me is that the Raptors always win this game. They've dominated the Knicks now here for a couple of years. Toronto, they've won 12 of the last 13 games here against the Knicks in Toronto. They've also covered 11 of the last 12 games against the Knicks here in Toronto, and the total has gone over in 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. The Knicks come in 6-3 against the spread on the road right now, and been doing a pretty good job. So Brent says maybe those trends are just too strong for him. Too strong for him, and that's just it. I mean, I'm kind of relying on the Knicks right now to kind of, that they are playing well enough. Again, on the back to back. That's a great point, Rodney. That's a great point. You guys might get me off. You guys might switch me on this. CTG leading under. Uh, I think I do as well. So, all right, Rodney will even lay a few more points. That series trend is pretty significant. I was consider again free play, so I was kind of winging it a little bit. I do think I like the total. I don't know. Chad does not like the card at all here. All right. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna go with the Raptors actually here in this one. Um, look, I'm gonna veto. I was kind of rolling with the Sharps here a little bit. They're clearly on the Knicks, or at least the good ones. It seems like to me the good moves are on the Knicks. But I'm going to go with the Raptors here. That's pretty strong dominance. There must be a little bit something to that. Yeah, are the Knicks better than the Knicks are looking pretty darn good right now. But on the back to back, maybe that's part of it too. I'm going to go with the Raptors actually. There's a late flop. And thank you for that. Okay. Hey, I rely on you guys sometimes. Okay, I was looking at the total, so all right, here we go. Next up, Spurs. Okay, the Spurs. Oh God, was Ramon tired this morning? The Spurs and the Saints. Sounds like a bad soccer game somewhere. Here we go, Spurs. I had to look at it twice because I looked at this. I was like, the Saints. Oh boy, hello. All right, here come the Pelicans. They're a double-digit favorite against the Spurs. You almost think I do that on purpose, probably just to get a rise out of you. Um, that caught me by surprise. Usually it's just a typo or the bad line. I've got lines of 336. I'd lose my job as a bookmaker. All right, let's roll here with hey, we got a little bit of breaking news though right now. It's not sports related, but I just want to pass this along. Just seeing it come across right now that the first woman Supreme Court justice in the history of the United States, Sandra Day O'Connor, passes away at 93 years old. Our justices, yeah, we're hot and cold on them sometimes, but definitely the first woman justice definitely gets our respect. And hey, um, if we could just tie a little bit into sports, I mean, there was a famous incident actually with Miss Mrs. O'Connor when she had a discussion with a famous athlete one time at a dinner. And it's a famous story in John Riggins, the former New York Jets and Washington Redskins running back, was at the dinner, and he recounts the tale of having a few cocktails in the presence of Washington dignitaries. And he was sitting at one of those big round tables and just happened to get seated with the first woman Supreme Court justice. And as the old quote said, and I've even said it here on the show within the last couple of weeks when we talked about Mac Jones. But John Riggins famously said, "Loosen up, Sandy, baby." That maybe the court justice was a little bit too uptight in the uppity crowd. Maybe she was just had the finger out drinking a champagne or something. And Riggins was a character. So just breaking news there. Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman Supreme Court justice, passes away at the age of
Team play.
93. Let's get back to the sports action here now. All right. We were on the Spurs and the Pelicans. We're almost done here with these games, and in this one, double digit favorite. Spurs doing. Hey, Spurs aren't doing a too bad a job here. It feels like to me like I think they're going to start to close the gap on some of these double digit spreads for all this losing streak the Spurs are on right now. They've got the money against Atlanta. They got the money against the Warriors. They got the money once against the Clippers in that little 2 game set. They can get some spreads here. So far, they're not. I mean, so far they're not, they're failing to cover more than they're covering, but we gotta wonder when they can kind of close the gap, maybe a little bit on uh, some of these teams. Now, I don't know. I really don't even know if tonight is going to be the night, and I'd probably end up laying it. But just want to make a point about Victor Wembanyama, right? And a lot of up and down criticism for Wembanyama. Uh, his lack of defense a little bit, right? And um, sometimes not the best offense. And even heard some people, when he was questionable for the last game, and I believe that's his status again. Let me see again tonight, right? Yeah, he's questionable with that hip injury, and uh, listening to a couple of analysts on one of the channels. They basically were saying, well, hey, if he's out, it's not a big deal. It's only 19 points a game. There are other guys. You know, Victor Wembanyama's 19 points a game is nothing to sneeze at, especially when you're a team like San Antonio. You need that type of player in there. Giannis Antetokounmpo in his rookie year averaged less than 7 points a game. And there were some growing pains. I mean, you think there were growing pains with Victor Wembanyama. Do you just remember back 10 years ago at Giannis? And we think of him the great, and we almost still, in a way, unfortunately, because the Bucks, I don't know, maybe have they look, they have acquired Lillard here, for a reason. right? To try to make sure we can try to get this guy a little bit of uh, legacy here, right? So yeah, they have a title with Giannis, but have they underachieved to a certain extent? Now, it took him a long time to get, not a long time, it took him a couple of years really to really get to where he was. Wembanyama, a lot of the offensive stuff is kind of there already, right? It just got to get bigger. Chad said it, but again, Giannis was nowhere close to be. I mean, nowhere close to this. I'm pretty sure. Oh, thanks, you guys. Don't mean to do that on the air, but why? A little bit of this. We're just about done with this. Talk about a little bit of maybe I had that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I need to go in for the booster. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no doubt about it, Fernando. You just where is Thomas Lewis here today? This one might feels like a back the truck up special, doesn't it? With these Spurs games right now and some of these totals. So, all right, maybe the Pelicans will stomp them today. But I don't know. I'm going to take the Spurs here in this one plus the points. He was watching. What I meant about this uh, on this one, Thomas, with the oh gosh, help me out here. All right. Well, I called you to come in here and say hi to me. Now I forget what I was going to tell you. It was something about this game. Gosh, Tom, I'm sorry. Sorry to take you from whatever you were doing. Oh gosh. What was I gonna say? All right, I'll just move on. I'll take the Spurs in this one. Chad challenge. He'll go with the Pelicans here. Hey, Pelicans pretty good against the number. They're covering numbers, no doubt about it. 8-3 at home against the spread. Yeah, I was mentioning the total. I was mentioning the total, and I'm liking the total in this one. You're right. It was something about the. Dang it! It's tough to communicate when you're from a YouTube to a chat. It's just tougher than it looks. All right, Thomas. Sorry to trouble you. Oh, thank you. Yes. Uh, so okay. Yep. The total, and also for what Fernando said. I don't want to back the truck up on an NBA total. I just feel like some of these totals. Thank you, Thomas. You're a smarter man than I think is what all that proved right there. Like this game, I like a high score here. Some of these Spurs games, I mean, have been pretty high scoring. There are plenty of sharps that came in early on the under in this one, but I don't know. Um, I don't know anymore. I like. I'm going to take the Spurs. Just give me the Spurs with the points. You guys are on the Pelicans though here. Looks like you guys are on the Pelicans. I don't know. Are they showing that penchant for rolling up blowouts right now? They've already. Yeah. They did lose a couple of games. Those two games at Utah. Now that was a little bit funky. I mean, you know, Utah can pull off some wins. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, I'll take the Spurs, but I just want to make that point about Wembanyama and some of the critics there saying uh, they don't need him. 19 points is not that much. He's having an incredible season actually. Yeah, we can pick it apart and say, look, we need to fix this guy up. There's so many things wrong with this player right now, considering his potential, but. Um, uh, you know, even getting lost on defense or getting pulled too far out that all he could do is flail his arms and try to stop the ball, and they're getting an easy bat. Whatever, we'll fix all that. It's got elite coaching staff. Um, this is the NBA. This guy, I'll stick by it. I'm sticking by, and again, it's easy to say. I mean, number one draft pick, whatever. But there are busts you can go through. There are guys. This guy's not. This is a can't miss prospect, and I imagine the Spurs um, will get back to their championship form here in the next couple of years with Wemby. They'll get more players, right? Look, they're going to have a good pick. All right, Nuggets and Suns here. One more. Oh, good game here with the Nuggets on the road. What's wrong with this team on the road? The Nuggets. You got to worry a little bit when it starts to become so uh, apparent or so, you know, home dominant, road really bad. Really bad. You got to win the championship. I think you got to be a little bit better. So they are a road favorite here, favored by 2, maybe even 2.5 total. 226 in this one with Denver and Phoenix tonight. So Denver 7-2 last 9 games. Uh-oh. Gotta plug something in here, you guys. Gotta plug in the thing or we're going to be off the air here in a second. All right. So Denver 7-2 in the last 9 meetings against the spread here against Phoenix. The total has gone under in 10 of Denver's last 13 road games. Phoenix has won 7 of their last 8 games overall, and the total's gone over in 7 of Phoenix's last 8 games at home. So Denver kind of trending under. Phoenix is kind of trending over. But I will say this: Phoenix as an underdog is 1-3 to the under. So to me, that kind of points more as if this game is going to be an under. Not just that trend, but to me, I think kind of the matchup, uh, as well. So. Look, for the Nuggets, the key here is Jamal Murray being back after that 10-game absence, or was it 9, whatever it was, 11-game absence. But Murray returned to the lineup and had 16 points and 6 assists in the game against Houston. So Murray is back. It should be noted, uh, because that was a pretty long spell, right? Basically a month of no Jamal Murray. Now up against Devin Booker, who let me check. I think he's also. I think both. I think Booker has an injury designation here with an ankle sprain, right? Yes, yeah. Booker with an ankle sprain, left the game certainly. Last game, he only finished with 8 points. He played 32 minutes. He had to leave the game. After the game, he said it was unsure. He said he'd be unsure if he'd be able to suit up on Friday. So that sounds. I don't know. That one sounds a little rough. I didn't check yesterday's comments, or we'll see. Maybe we can get a little bit more info on that. But that would put Grayson Allen, that would put Grayson Allen in position to pick up a lot of his minutes. But Grayson Allen has been sick this week. He is listed as probable here tonight. So a little bit of circumstances here. It feels like for the Suns in this one, and maybe that's why they are an underdog, because we definitely talking about the Suns right now having kind of, they're kind of like the Clippers in a way, right? They've kind of fixed things a little bit with their stars. Now we know Beal's had problems getting on the court. That's been rough, and It does feel like you want to wait here necessarily. I'm just gonna go with the under right now as the play because uh, maybe this one is where we do want to have the report for Booker. Yeah, I like to give out the spot to a certain extent when I give out, when I give out uh, these plays, and I would think that Phoenix is the spot. I would like to have Booker in there. Will this line move if once he's ruled in, when and if he's ruled in? It probably will. And could the Suns still cover this one? I think they can. They're the ones covering right now. Denver. Um, Here's the thing. I mean, even with Murray back, we'll see. Uh, yeah, it should improve them, but if it's baked into the line, the Nuggets are still having woes covering numbers on the road, just 2-8 against the spread. Phoenix, 3-1 so far as an underdog against the spread. Rodney played, like I said. Well, you probably heard me, but Murray was in there last
System
game.
play.
So here's Mike on the Suns. Take the points. And Chad says it would make a total difference for him. See, I would, for me, it wouldn't necessarily. I probably will be on Phoenix no matter what. And once the Booker gets ruled out, wait, take the more points. And I guess I should be grabbing the points right now. I'm going to do it. Oh, hey, I've been doing some double play action. Let me do it here, or even on the short card. Well, all right, I'll do it. Give me Phoenix tonight, and I'll take them right now, figuring that I. Let me see. If Booker isn't going to be in, well, uh, let me rescind that because if Booker's not going to be in, they'll get more points. Even I will wait on the game time decision. Just the under for me, please. But you know that I am going to be on this one. Oh, did Murray get hurt again? Is that what happened, Thomas? Okay, I might have missed that. Thank you. Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. What you guys said. Oh, thank you, thank you. I just figured with that type of production that he played. Oh, he did play just 22 minutes. Okay, thank you guys. Great call there, and great call by Rodney as well. Making I'm going to say that Rodney is saying that Murray will return, having left the game. He made his return from the 11 game absence. He then injured his ankle during the first game back. And if he misses time, of course, that brings back Reggie Jackson into play there. So, question marks surrounding this game. Give me the Suns. I'm sorry. Give me the under. Under, 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 under. Haven't done that in a while. Haven't done this in a while. We haven't had reason to. We haven't had reason to uh, do the fireworks, huh? Yeah. Even I maybe will wait for this one. Yeah. Usually, what happens, Chad, on those, right? Some of these, and I don't say like, if anybody whoever wants to wait, please wait. Whatever you're comfortable with. I come on the air. I'm looking to make a show, but again, um, I would say a lot of my handicapping is based on handicapping spots. So I don't like that word. I don't like the people that, or I don't like that. I like the people that use the word. I love them all, but spot is so tough because it's like saying the spot. Like only you know the spot. Not everybody knows the spot. And the one thing that I do is I just write down every game when I have my little list. One of the notes that I have on the little list of games is a number right next to the team, how many days since they played their last game. That's all I look at, and as far as spot. And yeah, I mean, you try to know when they're on the road trip or whatever, but um, a lot of times the play is on or against the situation of a team, because as you guys say, it will always be baked into the line. Even the questionable status is sometimes baked into the line, right? Okay, give me the under. NHL. We gotta go. It's already 7:30 here in Vegas. Sharks and Devils. One of our two games tonight on the ice, and I don't think it's $5.99, but it could be. It's close to $5.99. It's probably $5. That is another typo. The third typo of the show. Uh, Maybe I was a little under the weather and tired, getting better. All right, I'll put it at $5. I see 525 out there at another book. I see a lot of 475s mostly. It looks like, but it's at least $5, isn't it? And again, we don't even need to spend much time. I want to end the show here probably, but until further notice, I mean, dumb it down for me, right? To a certain extent, yeah. Hockey's, actually, I would say yesterday might have been one of our worst hockey days. We don't have many days as bad as, and it wasn't awful comparatively to the success we've had, but wasn't a great day yesterday. But one of the winners we had was going against San Jose, and we're going to do it again here if they're going to be on a back to back, just having played the Bruins and having played them pretty good, right? Yeah, they got blown out. They didn't score any goal. Well, they scored one, right? But uh, again, if anybody doesn't know, the Sharks so far are 0-10 this season on the puck line on the road. Now, here's the problem with this one: the Devils are 1-10 on the puck line at home this season, but every game they've played, the team has been better than the Sharks by my ratings. So can the Devils? Something's got to give here. It looks like the Devils 1-10 on the on the puck line at home. I think they were favored every time. I'm trying to no. Ah, I already clicked away from it. I'm done with the handicap. We're just taking the Devils. They won a game on the puck line at home. The Sharks have not on the road. The Devils are 1-10 on the puck line. What's the price, by the way? It's probably like 250 or something. I didn't even look. But oh, all right. uh, did you guys say it already? I'm trying to get to it here. Oh gosh. Minus $2 at the worst. So we'll take it as a play here on the show. Actually, I might play the total as a premium. So, all right, Fernando says take the Sharks. This has got to be it, Fernando. This has got to be the game. Plus 2.5 with the Sharks here for Ferner. Sharks on a back to back. Johnny Walker says -2, -1.5, -150. Oh, okay. All right. One more here for you. I'm going to watch some golf here. I was watching Tiger yesterday. Uh, he could win a bodybuilding contest. He might not be able to win a putting contest right now, but he looked great. Other than a limp, right? It's the old guy at the gym with the limp. That's Tiger. But I did put a play right now. Tony Finau's tied for the lead, and he's like 7.5 to 1. He's actually like fourth or fifth in the odds. I think the course sets up great for Finau. Having watched it yesterday, I think it's worth a play there at 7 to 1. Okay, one more here. Senators and Blue Jackets here. NHL action tonight with the Senators on the road, minus $1.60. Both these games are at 7 Eastern. Just want to tell you right now, so I don't know if we're going to get the news here. Let me just get off this. I hate when I do this. There's only 2 NHL games I'm not worried about. today. But uh, Denver and Phoenix, the total is on the move. I just gave it out the under. This is obviously the reason why this total is on the move right now, steaming lower after I off the cuff just said, hey, we'll take the under on my random little YouTube show with 50 viewers live and 500 or more by the end. That game, the total's on the move under, just to let you know. It wasn't really me, but probably going to get, probably maybe starting to get some news on these guys here. Could be total under, might not be the clue, but just the fact there's any movement, we could be getting some injury news information here momentarily in that game. Okay, let's get back to this one, and we're done. Going to be, oh, we got college basketball. Oh my God. All right, here. Let's do it quickly then with Columbus and Ottawa tonight. Um, in this one, I'm going to end up on uh, gosh, I think I'm going to end up on Ottawa here. Ottawa right now. Here, Columbus is 6-14 straight up as an underdog right now. The Sharps appear to be on Ottawa coming into this one, and boy, let me see. Uh, Blue Jackets on the as a puck line dog are 14-6, but they are laying a pretty hefty price at $1.75. And I would think Ottawa should be able to still get this win. This is a tough game, actually. It doesn't even look like you guys are even interested in playing this game necessarily. So, all right, these two teams have been trending. I mean, Ottawa is 7-1 to the over as a favorite, and Columbus is 12-8 to the over as an underdog. Hmm, okay. Uh, Oh, this is a hey, this is a game of the night, in the NHL after all. So better get this one right. Ottawa's 4-1 on the puck line, their last five road games, but they were the dog in at least one, maybe I think two of those actually. Columbus 6-2, their last eight games at home against Ottawa, including the last one last year. They haven't met yet this year, and Ottawa had won three straight meetings, but two of those were at Ottawa. So the price is a little hefty here, I think, to take Columbus on the puck line. Hmm. All right. Well, I'm not too thrilled necessarily, it feels like, with this one. I'm going to go under here with Ottawa and Columbus. I probably would need to buy it up to 7 and take it at minus a dollar 40, probably 45 or 50, I would think. But it's going to be close. I don't see a $1.55 at Bovada. Oh my goodness. All right, I'll take 6.5 here on the show, of course, because that's the line. 6.5 under 30 or so. Give me the under tonight with Ottawa and Columbus. That's hockey. Verner said you can get it at 7. And can I get it better than $1.55? Verner, I got TK right here, actually. I'm not. I'm in Vegas. I don't look at the DK. I can't bet it, so I don't look at. But it is 7 under 35. I see it there. I just did it on the line service. So, all right. Thanks, you guys, for that. Couple hockey games. All right, let's quickly get through the. Okay. Thanks, Daryl. Look at that. I'm still going to take. Hey, like I said, Daryl, they're still 12-8 to the over as an underdog, and we know they're an underdog most of the time. So it's just that at home, the Blue Jackets play unders. They 8 of 13 to the under at home for the Blue Jackets. Okay, I've got four games in college basketball, and maybe we'll just look at them quickly here. The picks are good. Why do we need the analysis? If we have winning picks, just give them out. There's some good games tonight with Connecticut going in to take on Kansas. A nice game here. Well, let me start with here and let me go in chronological order. This one's at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. It's going to be Houston and Xavier. Houston on the road, laying big points here against XU. XU did a pretty decent job, I thought, last time out, if I'm not mistaken. This one's actually down here to 8.5. Wow. I'll better put 8.5 because I'm pretty sure I like Houston in this one. Houston has been looking pretty good, and they let's see what they did on the road so far because uh, this is a tough place to play, no doubt, but this Houston team comes in ranked sixth in the country with a 7-0 record right now, and just looking pretty sharp at this point. They are 1-1 against the spread on the road so far. XU is 2-0 as an underdog. Xavier has won 20 of their last 22 games at home, but they are just 4-3 overall this season. A little bit of a slow start here. Houston just 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games on the road. Man, this is a tough place to play in here. The move apparently is on Xavier. Sorry, I switched that up, Mike, like that. We'll get to that game in just a moment here, but again, it feels like the Sharps. Let me take a look at this action here. Uh, Feels like the best of the Sharps are on Houston in this one, and Xavier, man, they are quality at home. This one scares me um, uh, because of that great home court. But this Houston team, man, is so good. They will run you right out of the building. What's the total? 139 here. Oh, that's too low, maybe for this Houston team. Man, that would put the score. I mean, 74-66. It feels like Houston will score more than 74 points here. Xavier may end up scoring some points too on this. This one may be a high scoring game, the way I see it actually now. So far, Houston has totally been a an under team. They are 1-6, but man, that seems like a 74 for this type. Maybe I'm underestimating how good Xavier is at home, but Houston, they scored and it's all been these defensive numbers are awesome. But okay, 76-66 is a comparable game, I would say, at Utah. Now, Xavier's ahead. Yeah, Xavier's number 40, and that was 142 points. Man, I think it's gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over in this one with Xavier and Houston here. You just saw me hash it out, I think, with a handicap right there. Look, Houston has their everything would point to look, they're a slow tempo. I get all that, especially defensively. They will make you maximize your possessions. No doubt about it. But I feels like they're just too good uh, too good right now. And I think they can not only win but cover, and that's saying something considering the success that Xavier has had. Xavier's losses were to Purdue, number one team, obviously, or two, whatever you want to call it, and to Washington. They walloped St. Mary's and they lost to Oakland, remember, last game. So I was actually giving them credit for their last performance. I was thinking that St. Mary's game, that was a couple of weeks ago. They lost to Oakland. They lost to the Golden Grizzlies. Remember that? That may be on people's minds looking into this game. That don't sleep on them. But again, they don't lose many home games, and they lost that one. There's going to be that's got to weigh on the minds a little bit. Okay, I'm going over. I'm going over. That's what I'm doing. I'm a little perplexed by it, but again, they just lost. Here comes Houston, and the wins. Like I said, they beat St. Mary's, they beat Bryant. All right. Here's the Connecticut and Kansas game right now. Uh, I said I was going to keep it in chronological order. I'm not. Sorry, you guys. Let me make sure I get this right. All right, Maryland and Indiana. We'll get it right. We'll get out of here. Maryland and Indiana. This one's at 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. In this one, we got uh, Indiana home favorite here by 3, and the total 137.5. It feels like right now. I think it's gone up here a little bit. You have right now an Indiana team that they've really kind of dominated this series, and you look at the matchup of the two teams. I mean, it feels like Indiana should be the much uh, taller team out there compared to Maryland. I would think. Uh, Indiana has covered 6 of the last 7 meetings here at home between these two teams, and they've also gone under in 4 of the last 5 meetings when these two teams have met. And Maryland has been going under so far this season. They've gone under in 5 of their 7 games. And that feels like the way I was gonna go here. And
Steam play.
You guys got anything in this one? Hey, Jose. Thank you for your college basketball picks today, Jose. Appreciate it. All right. I know Indiana is going to be pretty popular at the window, but I'm going to take Maryland here. I'm going to take Maryland, and I'm going to take them on the money line to win this game at IU tonight. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not actually sold on that total here. Actually, now that I see it and see the move here, Maryland. Look, if this game is going to be right where it says it's going to be with both teams in the high 60s, I think Maryland can be a little bit better than that. I think Maryland might be able to reach 70 here. Uh, they might catch Indiana a little bit slow of foot necessarily. I'm not critical of uh, Indiana's season so far. I mean, it certainly has been pretty good. They have the loss to Connecticut by 20 points as an 11-point dog, but Maryland, they do have 3 straight wins now. Of course, they lost to UAB. They lost to Villanova. They only scored 40 points in that one, but they just whipped up on Ryder and covered a big number. They beat South Alabama by 13. They didn't cover, but they did roll UMBC. They rolled some easy teams. I know this one looks a little bit tough here coming in, but I'm going to take Maryland here. I'm taking them on the money line. Uh, uh, let's add a little bit more on this one with so for me, look, the matchup of the big men, I was talking about Indiana coming in right and looking like the much bigger team with Ware here, but I think Reese neutralizes that a little bit, at least offensively, right? I mean, Reese can take down, have a good matchup, it feels like, uh, maybe against Ware. So we'll see. I would think that Reese can have a big game, and I would Young can have a strong game too. And there is a injury status, I think, with Xavier Johnson. Let me just look real quick. He is questionable with an ankle injury, so that is nothing I can do right now other than analyze it. But to me, I'm gonna take Maryland. All right. Great point, Mike, right? Can't play those New York teams. Just ridiculous. It makes no sense. It's just something cute that the regulators come up with for some reason. That's very disrespectful, actually, to bookmakers because uh, you know who blows the whistle on all these things, right? If there is some improprieties, the books. The books know. The books know who's betting, right? There's not the old saying, right? I always get into the debate with you know my with my gambling friend who thinks he knows it all, and he'd say, "Well, why doesn't the guy just go bet $1 million at 10 different sports?" Okay, yeah,
Same
that
play.
always happens. The guy rolls in there with a duffel bag of $1 million. He's like, "Hey, give me the next pitch to be a strike and whatever." Like the I don't mean the next live bet, but I'm just kidding because you think of that. Remember the baseball, college baseball problem they had this year with Alabama calling the guy on the phone. They even uncovered that, right? The guys and the maximum bet on the college baseball game was like $500. Imagine the guy got there to the book and he's like, going to play one college baseball game, and here the people behind the counter have had maybe 10 people walk up, put 20 or 50, $100 on a college baseball game, and then one guy walks up and he wants to bet
Same play.
$10,000 on a college baseball game because the coach calls him and tell him we're making a late pitching change and starting some freshman. And the guy goes, "What do you mean I can't bet $10,000 on Alabama baseball?" All right. Uh, You're where these stories come from when I'm trying to talk college basketball. We're finally going to talk about. I don't care anymore that there's a game in between these. I'm tired of putting the wrong graphic up. Connecticut and Kansas. Let's talk about it. Uh, Kansas here is a
Final.
3-point
Same play.
favorite, and the total is at 149. In this one, with Kansas favored here. Yeah, this one's at the same time. I'm going to look at one other game too involving Northwestern in just a moment. We got to have our Northwestern coverage, don't we? But this is the feature of the night with two top five teams going at it. KU coming in 6-1, and Connecticut coming in undefeated at 7-0. Connecticut is 2-0 against the spread on the road so far. KU 3-2 against the number at home. Should be noted that so far, uh, nothing too special with these two teams as far as the total's concerned. So it shouldn't be noted at all. Connecticut, pretty solid on the road late last
Critical
season.
notice.
Kansas, obviously, in this building, they're just pretty strong here. 22-3 straight up in their last 25 games. Kansas has also gone under in 8 of
Final.
their last 11 at home, dating back to last season. So let's see. For me in this one, let me scroll down here and check my number. Just kind of screwed up on the order. That's all. All right. Yeah. For me, it's a solid under here. I believe this one's already moved, right, from that total on the screen. Well, no, I think I can still get 149. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a premium here all of a sudden. All right, give me the under in Connecticut and Kansas here. It's Kansas. It's been a little bit of the under team so far. They went under in their last two games. In the game against Eastern Illinois, 134 points went under, 142 as Kansas did not cover. Remember, they struggled in that game, and Eastern Illinois played outstanding. Also, KU beat Tennessee, only 129 points in that one. And Connecticut went under in their last game, beating New Hampshire. That was a premium for me. I thought Connecticut would look to roll somebody. They only won by 20. They were favored by 31.5, but it did go under 151.5 at 148. I'm going to go under here with Connecticut and Kansas as the play here on the show. Thank you, Ferner. You get it. You understand. Purdue is going to take on Northwestern in my final game, and then we're going to be out of here. I couldn't get it done in 2 hours, even uh, all the uh, with the short card. I just had to talk about this and that, so I'll just get you out of here. Hey, Northwestern, watch out! Purdue tonight's tonight. Northwestern. I'm going to give out the old double play with Northwestern and the under. This is going to be a tough game for Purdue. Come on, Purdue. We're in conference play already here, so look out with Northwestern at home. They're going to end up surprising. I'm going to sprinkle the money line in this one. Purdue's owned this series. Don't get me wrong here. They've won 11 of the last 12 meetings. You'd think this one 130, that can't be 137 and a half. Certainly that's gone down at least a point, right? Oh my gosh, is it 138 still? Is it, let me take a look. Is it going higher? Let me just, I'm giving out the under. I don't care. We're going Northwestern. We're going the under. The under, you know what? I'm going to actually say, look at the move already. I should update it. It's already down to like 5. Purdue's a hot mover with the Sharps. This is one, the public, right? The free money game, right? Because everyone knows Purdue. Well, hey, they're great. Zach's great. Purdue's great. The Sharps are taking this. They're giving the public what they want. You want Purdue at a discount price? This is the time to grab them. I'm taking Northwestern on the show here because I'm getting the worst of it with Northwestern. This line was 8. This line was as high as 8, and now it's 5. So all the public can have this great play for Purdue today because the bookmakers, they obviously want to give away some free money. They're like, let's take the number 1 team in the country and lower the spread from 8 to 5 against the Northwestern. Now, Northwestern has done pretty well. Again, like I said, I'm on them. I'm on them. They're off to a pretty good start. Right now, considering they had lost just 1 game so far, was to Mississippi State. They haven't beat the world. They beat Binghamton, Dayton, Western Michigan, Rhode Island, and Northern Illinois. All those teams are, well, with the exception of Dayton, and they beat Dayton by 5 back on November 10th. Those are all pretty weak teams. So here it is. The bookmakers have said, let's go ahead and offer the public Purdue, even though all this money, now, obviously the Sharps are, piling in with money on Northwestern. They're doing the best they can right now. And maybe when the limits go up and the public starts to come in a little bit and want to take some action here with Purdue, maybe it will go back up. So maybe this is your best point if you want Purdue, the best entry point. Could it really go any lower than this? So thank you, Johnny. Maybe I need to look at that right now because, oh, yeah, for sure. 135. This one's way lower. So I'll update it here real quick. I do want to show the worst line, and I think the under is pretty darn strong here for me in this one. Northwestern is 2-4 to the under so far. Purdue's gone over in 5 of 7 games. Make no mistake. So Northwestern will need to play it, in that lower tempo here. Just want to make note now. Purdue, like I said, they've won 11 of the last 12 games. When was the last time Northwestern beat Purdue? Oh, it was last February, right here in Evanston, 64-58. That's going to do it for the morning steam. I'm Ramon Scott. Join me tomorrow for college football tournament action. Whatever they call those conference title games, conference championships. Tomorrow we'll talk about it. We'll have college basketball, of course. More winners, I would imagine. These things seem like they're all winning. So we're taking Northwestern and under. And we're also going to have NBA and NHL as long as your arm tomorrow as well. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate you very, very much. Please go over to Tony'sPicks.com and pick up my personal picks for this weekend for just $79. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. I don't know why people are not, why I'm not seeing my, okay, we had a little flat line in there for a little while, but I think it's all clear that over the last 8 days, I'm clearly hitting at 66%. So uh, please pick up my package and get some extra plays on board here. I'm going to enter them in right now. I know what I'm going with. So appreciate all of you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow with more morning steam. For Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott.